Kids in 2030 will hear stories like, I left your father because he wasn't posting me.
You know, that's why mom left dad, right? He didn't want to post her on their anniversary. Shaking my head, men always do the bare minimum.
When it comes to phones, where I live at least, Apple is head and shoulders above all the competition. Us, the consumers, made it the standard phone as the majority of Americans own one, including myself, using it to communicate with my fellow civilians, checking my grades on Canvas, and I actually edit a lot of my videos on my phone, and if anyone has had to edit long-form content, I know they're side-eyeing me like I'm some kind of freak. And everyone's got their different uses for it, but the staying power of the iPhone is its format. It's simple, convenient, and honestly, that's all we know. Yeah, I'm not speaking French. We only know how to navigate iPhones. People don't like change. As much as people used to make jokes about Androids, how much of us have actually owned one? We see their doo-doo cameras and the fact that they're not able to FaceTime, and that's it. We wouldn't even consider switching to another device. And that gives Apple free reign to price gouge the shit out of their phones and all their other products, because they know no matter what they mass produce, there will always be a line of people to buy. That's where I draw the line as a consumer, because if you really clean out your eyes, everything besides the iPhone, I believe their other products are pretty shit. And of course, the price has to factor into things like this. It's because your other stuff has an Apple logo stamped onto it, and there's compatibility. I'm not letting you take my money. Fuck no. I'm gonna go through some of the products one by one and just talk about the problems I have with those products. And before I talk about all that, please like and subscribe. Pretty please. I have owned 2 pairs of AirPods, and I was already out on them after the first pair, but I won a brand new pair from a raffle and used those till they hardly worked. These things are so easy to lose, and I don't know how many times I stopped doing everything because I had a missing bud somewhere. And why don't they design and manufacture them to have rubber on the case right out the jump? When I was buying AirPods, they were like $200. Like 10 sets of rubber is going to kill your profits. Like the case is the size of my hand. I don't want to buy a freaking $15 rubber case for my pods. And then you start to notice the quality of them fall off after like 3 months. They weren't as loud, and by 9 months, they're like unusable. The person next to me will hear whatever I'm listening to just as well as me. It's just more ideal to have wired headphones at that point. I don't care if you look like a hobo. I don't care if you lose aura wearing them. I've had the same Apple wired headphones for like 5 years and the quality hasn't changed at all. But this is also coming from the perspective as someone that doesn't really use headphones that much, except when I'm recording my videos. I don't really listen to music in public. But they still do the job. You can't tell me the AirPod 4 is worth more than the $20 Apple headphones because there's no wire on it. I'm not crazy. And then the headphones, the AirPod Maxes, someone's got to comment their experience on them, but I refuse to believe those are worth someone's McDonald's paycheck. Next, I want to talk about the Apple Watch. Last time I checked, any device you have usually has a clock on it, so why do people own watches? Ah, that's right. The flex! Giving a preview of your bank account, but rubber on your wrist is not something to write home about, you know? If this thing is going to cost me hundreds to $1,000+, it's got to start doing some voodoo magic, like spamming W's in Kai's chat on my behalf, or something like that. So what does it do? What is it even about? It is literally just an extension of your phone. You can answer calls, send texts, and search things on it, but it's a tiny ass screen. So it already just seems useless to begin with. Seems like its only beneficial use is for things like fitness, performance, and stuff like that. But there's probably a more cost-effective way to track your heart rate and your calories burned. Am I right? I personally haven't owned one myself, but I know people who have, and they barely even used it. Like, it just seems like they had it just to have it. I'm pretty sure one of them got their watch stolen too. Speaking of stealing, the amount of times I've seen AirPods on a table or bench for the taking is more than I can count on my fingers. Forget about the part those were in someone's ear, how jugging is bad, but think about it. What are the odds those AirPods are even close to peak condition? The same odds of the Celtics winning the championship. Honestly, I think MacBooks and Apple desktops are one of the most baffling purchases a civilian can make. I think the only thing that stands out about an Apple computer is just the aesthetics of the computer. And me personally, I generally care about customization and performance of the laptop or desktop. Obviously, it's not optimal for gaming. Let's just say you want to use an Apple laptop for work. It really depends on what type of work you're doing, because some software you need to use isn't even compatible or available. Ideal for arts like music and video or photo editing, but I believe anything the Mac can do, there's a cheaper alternative with a Windows computer. I know I'm pulling this out my ass, but let's just say I want to do a 3D model of a structure on Revit. It's not even available on Apple. What if I want to do a 2D model on Civil 3D? I'm not going to get the full optimal experience on an Apple computer. For a laptop that shoots for minimalism and something sleek, that's your bread and butter, that's cool. It becomes a fucking problem when you charge a rack for it. My first Windows laptop lasted me 10 years, no issues, except that it was slow at the end. Like, of course, it gets to a point, you know, and was able to run many games and different software on it, no issue. And then my brother, who's had a MacBook for maybe a year and a half, complains about the speed of it. I'm pretty sure has gotten his screen repaired already. Like, I already question the durability of it now, too. Out of all the Apple products, this is the one I advise not buying the most. Any iMac, any MacBook, any Apple computer is just a no sir for me. Now, the last product I'm going to talk about is the Apple VR headset. It's going to be difficult to speak on because I don't own it and no one I know owns it. It's $3,500. And that's not even counting resales. Of course no one's going to own that shit. I'm a broke college student. You're not even incentivizing for me to even give it a chance. But I'm not talking about this blindly. I've seen reviews about the functions and everything it does. Like, why would you do something on that headset when there's a device in your house that's way more optimal for whatever you're doing? Like gaming, you have a console or a PC. YouTube, you could just use your phone or a TV or an iPad. Calling people, you just use your phone. Why would I FaceTime someone on a freaking headset? And you're definitely not using that shit outside in public. You'd be looking like the fish from Fortnite. You just look stupid. More people are incentivized to get the cheaper alternative, like the Quest 3, which is lighter and has a better field of view from what I was able to see. And people enjoy the gaming experience way more on that compared to the Apple VR headset, if we even consider VR gaming valid. Like, this should not be an experience that any consumer should feel like they're missing out on. And there's morons still buying this thing for like $4,000, $5,000. Like, you gotta be the reason why eggs are so expensive. Companies are so comfortable overpricing shit because of people like you. Me personally, I could not sleep comfortably at night if I owned some bullshit like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't mention the Apple TV. I don't own one myself, but I used one briefly before and I thought it was alright. Not really much to say about it. Make sure to like and subscribe, and comment what I should complain about next. Yeah, and follow the Twitch if you can. Alright, stay safe.
Like and sub, cue the outro.